So you believe we have a choice in what we are able to pick in regards to our experience for this particular life?
You always have a choice.
No, I mean a choice before we're born,
Yes.
right? Not post, but pre. We have a pre-choice, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. And so you chose this life.
We chose.
No, well, I'm speaking.
This adventure together.
Who? Both of us chose this adventure together?
Yes.
That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I honestly never thought about it that way. Like we chose to have this experience that we're having, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have we been on this ride? We what, 15 years?
Yes.
Yeah. And how have you felt about it? Have you enjoyed it?
Yes. And you?
You know, it's been interesting. It's been some ups. It's been some way ups. We've been way up at times, and I've been very happy with you. And it's been some way downs, and I've been very not happy with you. But I think that's just what, life.
That life and relationships.
I can't think of any relationship I haven't had that other than probably my mother, right? Which I have no real reason to be down with moms. You know what I'm saying? Like moms is moms. Even dad, to some degree, I've been down on just from a expectation parenting kind of thing, right? But I would say the only person that I've ever really not had an emotional roller coaster with is my mother. Well, what do you think about that? And that's really because our relationship is just very one-dimensional. She's my mom. I mean, it's not like she's not my business partner. She's not like my girlfriend. She's like just Mom Dukes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, other than that, though, outside of that, every other relationship I've been in, it's had peaks and it's had valleys and it's had in-betweens. What about you?
And that means that there's lessons behind that.
Oh. I agree. I've learned, I think the biggest lessons I've learned in life is in the valleys with relationships, because I've had the biggest moves and the biggest transitions in my life during the biggest, at the time I would call disappointments in relationships. But for some reason, when that happens, it's such a disappointment and it's such a revelation that it just moves me. It's like it pushes you. It's like this force that pushes you in the opposite or in a different direction, and you get more focus and there's more awareness. What do you think? All right, guys, William Agnew here. Welcome to our first episode of Frequency Healing House. This is our long form here on YouTube, and we want to welcome all of you guys who are interested in us and what we do. So we've been in the healing business for quite some time. I've been doing physical fitness, and my partner in crime over here, Miss Amy Snyder. How you doing, Amy?
The love of your life, you mean?
My what do they say? The a soulmate, I guess they call it. Don't they call it soulmate?
Yes.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Yes, I believe in contracts.
Explain that. Explain. What's the difference between a contract and a soulmate?
It's a soul contract.
Explain.
We come into this world to experience.
Different what?
Adventures with people.
And so when you say contract, that means who contracts? Is it us? Is it a God? What is it? Like, how does it work? Yes, what? Explain it.
It's a God contract. It's our contract.
Is it out?
It's just an agreement.
Agreement between who?
All of us. You?
Because I'm drilling you on this because I hear you use the word contract an awful lot, and when we talk about birth and people being here and there's this pre-contract we do before we get here.
Yes.
Is that something we got to fulfill? Like, explain it. I don't understand the contract aspect of what you're talking about.
Well, it's kind of like you pick what you want to experience in this lifetime. If you believe in many lifetimes, but at this present moment.
So you believe we have a choice in what we are able to pick in regards to our experience for this particular life?
You always have a choice.
No, I mean a choice before we're born,
yes.
Right? Not post, but pre. We have a pre-choice, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. And so you chose this life.
He chose.
No, well, I'm speaking.
Adventure together.
Who? Both of us chose this adventure together?
Yes.
That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I honestly never thought about it that way. Like, we chose to have this experience that we're having, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have we been on this ride? We what, 15 years?
Yes.
Yeah. And how have you felt about it? Have you enjoyed it?
Yes. And you?
It's been interesting. It's been some ups. It's been some way ups. We've been way up at times, and I've been very happy with you. And it's been some way downs, and I've been very not happy with you. But I think that's just what, life.
That life and relationships.
I can't think of any relationship I haven't had that other than probably my mother, right? Which I have no real reason to be down with moms. You know what I'm saying? Like, moms is moms. Even dad, to some degree, I've been down on just from a expectation parenting kind of thing, right? But I would say the only person that I've ever really not had an emotional roller coaster with is my mother. Well, what do you think about that? And that's really because our relationship is just very one-dimensional. She's my mom. I mean, it's not like she's not my business partner. She's not like my girlfriend. She's like just Mom Dukes. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess, other than that, though, outside of that, every other relationship I've been in, it's had peaks and it's had valleys and it's had in-betweens. What about you?
And that means that there's lessons behind that.
Oh. I agree. I've learned, I think the biggest lessons I've learned in life is in the valleys with relationships, because I've had the biggest moves and the biggest transitions in my life during the biggest, at the time I would call disappointments in relationships. But for some reason, when that happens, it's such a disappointment and it's such a revelation that it just moves me. It's like it pushes you. It's like this force that pushes you in the opposite or in a different direction, and you get more focus and there's more awareness. What do you think?
Agreed.
Yeah. Have you had that experience?
I think we all have.
Did you have that with me?
Yes.
And the reason why I say that is Amy and I, we've known each other for about, what'd you say, somewhere between 15 and 16 years. Our daughter is 12.
Wow.
Right? But we knew each other before she was born, right? And that was an interesting time for us. We were kind of getting to know each other, and that was fun, right? But it wasn't all commitment, kind of like it was or kind of is today. So it was interesting, but we've known each other for about 15 years, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's been quite the journey. So for those of you that don't know, and maybe you're new to this is our first episode, and we've been doing the social media thing. We've had a business now for about 6 months, and this is our first real business venture together in 15 years. And what makes this kind of interesting to me is getting to this point after about 16 years and saying, hey, I want to start a new business with you after 16 years. And like I said, we've had some ups and we've had some downs. And so we've had to go through this tumultuous, happy, sad, indifference, right? We've had to go through all of, I would say, the states of being to get to this point. And it's very interesting because it's almost like, if you believe kind of what Amy was talking about before, where it's contract and it's written, it makes you step back and say, wow, we literally kind of went through this entire journey before we even decided to come together and do a business together, which is kind of interesting. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I would agree. I think you can either make the lesson difficult or easy. I think sometimes we made it a little too difficult.
we made it too difficult. No, I take response. I take a lot of responsibility in that, mainly because we learn as we grow. I'm gonna be 50 in a couple of weeks, right? And so we met when I was about 36. I think I was about 38 when Mila came along. So, I could say one thing I can honestly say is we've definitely changed from the first time we've met until today, right? I would say I'm a different person, and not at the core, but in how I perceive things. What would you say about yourself?
Agreed. We've changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 52, so you're going to be coming up, so we'll be in our 50s.
Yeah, you're OG. I hadn't hit the 50 mark yet, but I'm 2 weeks away. But yes, you are.
So your perception and of just your reality changes.
Right.
Of what's important to you.
That is true.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that just to add a little bit more, kind of insight to Amy and I's relationship, we've known each other for about 16 years, but 6 of those years, right, which was almost the last 6 years. And it's so interesting because we recently just kind of revisited us and kind of evaluated us. And like I said, we have a 12-year-old now, and for me, that was a big part of it also. When she was a child, I spent a lot of time with her. Amy spent a lot of time with her. We co-parented very, very well. There was no problem with co-parenting, right? We both got our time and we both allowed that. So it wasn't, that kind of, problem with us. We worked very well together in regards to our daughter and spending time with her. So it's almost like she didn't miss a beat because, we were both very heavily involved. But we did do about 6 years apart. And for Amy and I, we didn't really talk that much, and we didn't communicate that much. We were kind of angry. I would say we were a little angry at each other for quite a chunk of that. What would you say?
Yes, we had to work out our differences.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think the anger stemmed from? Like, and it's funny, guys. We might, what you might see in this is you might see us process some of this because honestly, we processed it enough to be together again in this capacity and be in business together and co-parent together. But I don't know if we've really gotten down to like sitting on a couch, like deep couch sitting, right? I call this deep couch sitting, right? And really having a conversation about how we feel about, the last 6 years. What do you think? You think we've processed it to some degree?
I think a lot. Yeah.
I mean, we do have a business together now, so to some degree
I think it was divinely guided why we got back together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't move on. I didn't move on. And, for me, speaking personally for myself, right, I didn't move on. I really fought for this relationship. You know what I mean? And so, that was a tough fight for me because it was a long fight. Like 6 years is a long time to, especially at the age of 40. I was about 44 when we broke up, right? So But my daughter, it was a big part of that too. Like I really wanted to stay engaged in her life. I didn't want her, if she didn't need be, I didn't want her to have all of the, extra baggage that comes along with, broken families either. Right. That was big for me. How was that for you?
Agreed. And I never moved on to either. So.
Yeah. What was your reason for not moving on? Why didn't you move on? Why didn't you pack it up and like find a new man, new husband, new place, why didn't you just, move on?
It wasn't, there was no, I was just being a parent and working, right? And doing my business.
Yeah. So relationships really weren't part of what you were trying to
no
focus on.
No.
Yeah.
And ultimately I still loved you. So.
Oh, you still love me? The whole six? The whole six?
You can still be angry with someone and still love them.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that. You can definitely be angry and love somebody for sure. I think love is not something you really control. I think it's an internal, thing. And I think, you can't turn love, like real love. I don't think you can turn it on and off. It's like a default setting. Once it's on, it's on. And, that being said, I think you can love different. I think you can, like women often say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That kind of deal. Right. And I get that. Do you agree with that? You think you can love somebody and not be in love with somebody? And not in that family way, but it more like in just like me and you, like you can love me but not be in love with me. Do you believe that?
Yes, but I think your basis of love comes down to your self-love.
Right. Yeah.
And so
it's how you think it's how you love yourself is how you love other people.
Or even in past experiences of how you saw love growing up, or how your environment was of expressing love.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I often say our family, like my immediate family, and I don't know if yours was, I know we've talked about this, and I've met your family quite a few times, but I haven't spent like extensive time around your family. So it's more like, hey, Will, hey, Will, it's one of those, like, that's the relationship we have. And I know with my family, it's, I often explain it to people, like the love was understood, but it was never like really, like we understood that we were loved, but the expression of love wasn't very demonstrated. Does that make sense?
Agreed.
How was it with your family?
Same way.
Yeah. No hugs, no kisses?
No, but we knew that, we could always rely on each other.
Yeah. You lost your father here recently, right?
Not recent, 3 years ago.
Wow. It's crazy. Yeah. I say recent because I know you're still processing it.
Of course.
Yeah. It's almost like, is it like yesterday you lost them? Is the way you feel? Like, have you been able to?
It's just the holidays.
Yeah. Have you made gains in your, because I know you've been doing some posts recently, and we're about to start a grief group at the Healing House. And so I know, you've been talking
Frequency Healing.
At Frequency Healing House, yes. And I know you've been talking a lot about grief, and you've been sharing some of your experiences with grief. Do you feel like over those 3 years, like you've made any type of changes from the time you lost your father to now in terms of your process in dealing with your grief?
Oh yeah, huge.
So can you speak on that? And because I know in some aspects it's okay to be in it for as long as you need to be in it.
Of course, you can't rush grieving.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, it's ebb and flow. I mean, it just, I mean, I've made huge strides of the processing it. But I mean, we're talking about a time during the holidays, and so holidays are difficult.
So like the holidays, they often like take you back to like, it was Christmas and presents and the table around the table and spending time with family, that kind of thing. So is it almost like it was yesterday when the holidays come through?
Yeah, because he passed.
Mm. Yeah, I know. I think I remember we spent last Christmas together.
Oh, yeah.
And you came to South Carolina.
How about you tell the story?
Well, you came to South Carolina with me, right? And
divinely guided.
Yeah,
my father and
well,
your father.
His was kind of trippy.
Shout out to Odell.
His was kind of trippy. Our fathers were really cool with each other, right? And we got pictures of them just talking to each other and chilling with each other, and they got along. They were kind of the same type of guys, really. They were just a man's man, like just had their ways.
And it was Thanksgiving that they met. Remember in Arizona?
It was. Yeah, it was Thanksgiving. Yeah, and they were really cool, and they both reminded me of each other. Like when Amy talks about her father, I'm like, yeah, my father's the same way.
Laughed.
Yeah, and when we talk about, turning on the heat and turning on the AC and that kind of stuff, they got the same, they got the same perspective around, it's cold, put some clothes on. If you're cold, put some clothes on, And my father was kind of the same way. And it's just ironic that they both, relatively closely died at the same. I mean, they got sick and kind of died, not close together, but close enough where, Amy's father died first, and then my father later on was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he 8 months after he was diagnosed, he passed away. And the interesting part about that is, she went through her process, and then, when my father was sick, I was flying home and I was coming to get Mila one day. And, something in me just said, and again, we've been apart for 6 years, like, and really angry. I was angry, but not angry to the point where I was being angry or showing anger. I was just I had the anger inside of me. But at times I would, process it, get past it, and, and still co-parenting, so being nice. And for whatever reason, my father passed away. And I don't know if you guys have heard of this, but they always say there's a sacrificial transition types of energy where, like, when you lose something, it pushes you to do something that you haven't done, that you think you would never do, and you gain something. And so when my father passed away, I was talking to Amy about me and Mila going and seeing my father, and something in me just said, hey, invite her to come, right? And I don't know what it was, because it just wasn't the typical thing that I would do. But I asked her, I said, hey, you want to go? I literally just said, hey, you want to go? And how did that turn out?
Are you referring to for Christmas?
Yeah, this time last year.
Yes, but your father had already passed.
Yes, but we were going back. Remember, we were going back
6 months after, because he passed in September.
I don't think it was quite 6 months. Was it 6 months after he passed?
He passed in September.
And then Mila and I were going back, and that's when I asked
December.
you if you wanted to come. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Thank you for that. My timeline's off a little bit. But in any case, it changed me, and, loss and grieving, and we're talking about that. It changed me a little bit. And then I was kind of open to invite you to come, and you said, yeah, I'll come. Right.
Well, yeah, the backstory is when I knew that you were taking Mila, it had crossed my mind that I wanted to go back to South Carolina with your family. because I wasn't able to go to his funeral.
Right.
And so I wanted to give respects to him, but we were on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just always have faith and trust. And so I just kind of, the thought crossed my mind, and I said, well, if it's supposed to work out, it will work out. And then, holy moly, you came and said you want to go back. And so,
Right.
that's what changed everything.
And here we are. And now we got opening a business. We're opening a healing business together. So
Yes.
that's kind of where this came from. So people often ask, like, well, how did you guys get into this business? So where did this come from? Where did this derive from? Why this? Why did you guys decide on this? I often ask myself, I'm like, how did we get here? It's a really interesting question, but my life has kind of always been that way, where it's like, things work out the way they work out, and it's not really planned, and I often ask myself, like, how did we get here? So now we have a business together. It's a healing business. It's called Frequency Healing House.
Sometimes it's not logically planned, but I think intuitively it is planned.
Well, I think you move towards what like you said, if there's a contract that you've already created, just unconsciously.
It feels right.
Yeah, unconsciously,
So it moves quickly.
You're going to do things unconsciously that moves you towards that thing that you've already contracted, if that's really what it is. I mean, I just think that's what happens in life. So that being said, maybe if you guys have been following us, here recently we went on a journey, right? And it was quite transitional. We went to Peru, and it was about 2 months ago?
No, October.
Yeah, it feels like it's been about 2 months.
Yeah, October 5th.
Yeah, but even before we got the business really up and going, there was this big retreat that Amy wanted to go on, right? And she was like, you're going to Peru. It's going to change your life. Stop asking me questions. You're going. And I was like, oh God, here we go again. These big things. Because Amy has gone to Brazil, and she's gone to Brazil. How many times have you been to Brazil?
3.
3 times on basically retreats, right?
Yes.
Yeah, same kind of deal. So you've been to Brazil. You been anywhere else? Where else have you been?
Caribbean.
Right. You've been on cruises.
Yeah, retreat cruises.
Yeah, retreat cruises.
Yeah.
And so this is what she does. And she's been doing this for a long time, but she sucked me into this Peru trip. And
You're welcome. It was amazing.
Listen, I can't deny it was life-changing. It was transformative. If you guys have been watching some of our social media, right, you can see some of the things that we were doing. And it was transformative. I got to say, I'm happy, that I went. It was a long trip. I'll say that. It was a 24-hour trip to Cusco, right, Peru. But it was definitely the experience. And what we have decided to do now is invite people to come do it with us, right? So if you're listening to us, right, one thing you can do if you want to participate, I'll go ahead and plug this, is on our website, right, there's a retreat page. If you're interested in doing, this is the first thing I want you guys to do. Go look at some of our social media and see our experience, right? Don't just take our word for it. Go look at the experience that we were on, and some of the things we did, and the people we were hanging out with, and the places we visited, and see for yourself. And I guarantee you, if this doesn't interest you or make you go, wow, it's gonna give you the insight as to whether this is something that's for you. But if you feel like it is, go to the webpage and put in your information and you're not committing to anything. But what will happen is you will be notified when we decide on what our next retreat is. And we do both domestic and international retreats. And that's because, obviously international retreats, a little bit more resources, a little bit more time, a little bit more planning, takes a longer period of time to get those things solidified. So in the in-between time, we do domestic, and we do it right here in Round Rock, right? So you guys can come visit us.
Round Rock, Texas.
Round Rock, Texas, exactly. So we do those. But in any case, the thing that I want you guys to understand is that if you want to be notified, again, not commit to anything, just notified of both domestic and international, go to our website, go to the retreats page, put your information in, you'll be on the list. As soon as we decide where the next retreat's going to be, whether domestic or international, we'll notify you. If you're interested, we'll do the thing, and you guys can participate with us, and that would be super fun because, and I'm going to let Amy talk about this, the experience we had with people that I didn't even know. We had a 20-member team, right? You know about what, 2 or 3 people?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was quite the experience, right? And so I met all of these. I was the only milk dud in the as usual, right? I was the only black guy in the group, only African American, black. I was the only African American, period, girl or guy, right? And but it didn't. It was like. It was such an experience because everybody was so cool and nothing mattered. And the only reason why I focus on the race, right, of who my demographic is because it didn't matter.
It never mattered.
It didn't matter, right?
It never mattered.
And it's funny because it seems like only in the United States does race and sex and things matter.
Agreed.
Sometimes. But and I know it does in other places, but it really matters over here a lot.
We pray for the change.
Yeah, we pray for the change. But I had a wonderful time. Tell me, what was your most favorite experience on that Peru trip, Amy? What was the thing that impacted you, transitioned you, or that you loved the most about that Peru trip?
Every single aspect of it. I loved it. I loved it. You gotta have a
I would have to favorite though.
I would have to say the Sweat Lodge.
The Sweat Lodge.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. When you say Sweat Lodge, tell the people a little bit about what that consisted of.
It's a cultural journey where you sit in a hut of 20, was there 20 people?
There's 20 people.
It's a ceremony.
Yeah. 20 people knee to knee. Like your knee. Yeah. Your knee is touching other person's knee on both sides.
Hotter than crap in there. Sweating. It was amazing.
Dark. Did you mention that it's pitch black? You can't see your hand in front of your face?
That's true.
Yeah. And the heat is coming off of, what is the heat coming off of?
Of the rocks that are heated.
And how are they heated?
Through fire. Yeah. I mean, it's smoldering. It's just.
Yeah.
And it's, you're taking on a journey through a shaman. And she was a badass.
She was like 4'6", if that tall.
Just amazing.
But she was like, her aura.
Everything about her.
Giant.
Power.
It was huge.
Powerful.
Yeah. She had aura for days.
Yeah.
Right.
And the knowledge behind her is just.
I mean, almost every ceremony we had, the teachers had that aura.
The teachers, our tour guides, they were amazing.
Yeah, they were amazing.
I mean, we were there for 2 weeks and not even enough time.
No.
We need to go there for like a month next time.
Yeah, and it was fun. Never did I feel unsafe. Never did I feel, anxiety. Only time I felt a little worried was on the bus, on those mountains, when you're going around those curves and you watch a lot of TV and you see those mountains and you're like, look at that bus going around that mountain in the fall. It's like a cliff. It's straight down. If you come off that thing, it's over. And these guys drive like There is no mountains. So that was the only, I always said my father could never, I told Amy, my father could never do this because he would
No way.
he would just be, he'd be bent out of shape about those mountains.
My
But
father too.
yeah. I told
Many
you.
people. It didn't matter. I mean, even just driving in the city,
Yeah.
right, with our shuttles,
Right.
it was like bottleneck. Like it was just honking everywhere, but everybody respected everybody, and it all worked. There was not one accident that we saw.
Yeah.
But yet here in America, there's accidents all the time.
All the time. It's because people don't pay attention here. And one thing you can't do, especially there, you can't text and drive. That ain't happening.
No way.
You're gonna kill yourself, number one. But that's what you notice. It's interesting you say that because what you do when you go on these retreats is contrast, right? It's compare and contrast. And that's what I saw, not only in myself, but I saw that in our whole team. Like what you do is you look at your life and it gives your life perspective. And I honestly think that here in the States that, what people fail to have, the majority of their life. And there's a lot of people who've never been anywhere else in this world. And this world is a vast place. It's a huge place. There's so many different types of people, so many different types of cultures, so many different types of beliefs and systems, and it's crazy. And if you don't get outside of the one that you were born in, right, you just think that that's the default and that's the only thing that matters. And what you realize is when you go places like this is you start to compare and contrast like your reality versus other people's reality. Like we often talk about one of the experiences we had was eating at the hut. Because what tour guides would do a lot of times is they knew the locals. And so what they would do was they would take us to the locals, right? And the locals would invite us to their houses and bring us in and cook dinner for us and feed us. And we got to see the kids and the wives and we got to experience the animals, right? How they live.
Bees, yeah.
And so it was, and you could see in the eyes of the members and the other people, like, everybody's brain computing about their reality versus what they were experiencing. And how did you feel about that? Like eating in the huts and, and eating, with the people like on the side of the mountains. Right?
It was an amazing experience.
And the food was delicious.
The food was delicious. And we were in a hut, probably 12 by 12.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With ceilings probably being 6 foot. I mean, it was
honestly, it wasn't much bigger than the sweat lodge.
Remember, we had to bend down the doorway to get.
Yeah, I'm not exaggerating.
Even short people. I mean, it was.
Yeah, the hole. There was a hole. The door was a hole.
It was a hole.
But you had to duck to get through.
Yes, and there was hay. On the.
And that was hay. Ground. Actual hay was like the carpet.
Actual hay. Yeah, and it was. It was one of the best meals I've ever had.
And the food was delicious. And
the conversation and the just the appreciation.
One thing I noticed is the men cook a lot. Like all the men know how to cook for the most part. Like for the most part, like men take pride in cooking and serving and being the provider of the sustenance for guests. We saw that continuously, like every place we ate, when we were visiting.
It was the whole family.
Yeah.
The kids delivered the food.
Everybody had a part, right?
Yeah.
Everybody had
the husband,
role.
The wife, even the cook.
Yeah.
Remember the cook came out to see if we were okay? And on the second hut.
Yes.
We're like, who's it? And it was just amazing.
It was amazing.
And which then brought them joy because they saw how much we loved their food.
Yeah. The question I'm asking is, when are we going back, and what is the next venture, right? And what I love about this is it gives us an opportunity to really meet new people and experience new places with new people. So I love that. Like again, I didn't know any of these people, and by the end of the trip, I had a really cool bond with a lot of the people that we actually went with, that I think will last, forever, right? As long as we wanted to. And that was cool. Again, and we come from different backgrounds, different places, different demographics, and it didn't matter.
Ages.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Like it didn't matter. It didn't matter. And even the people over there were special people, and it's just crazy. So that being said, I'm looking forward to the next one.
Agreed. I'm all about travel.
I'm looking forward to the next one, and it's all about travel, and therapeutically, what I think we should really talk about is therapeutically, traveling and retreats are huge. What do you think? What do you think about retreats in regards to being like healing, like retreats and healing? How do you think retreats heal, right, from your perspective?
Well, I think it's because it takes you out of your comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
and it forces you to adapt,
Mm-hmm.
and not have so many judgments or routines.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, remember, like with the tours, they kept changing.
Mm-hmm.
They were shorter, they were longer. And it just it forces you to go with the flow. Really,
One thing I saw is initially, it's very American, very U.S., where people get really bent out of shape when the schedule's off.
agreed.
Right in the beginning, it was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know why. Y'all just heard a lot of, discomfort with things not being exact. Right.
And for me, I was like, okay, well, whatever. Like, I don't care, right? Like, I'm here. I'm in a beautiful environment.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Like, no big deal.
But then by the end, I think everybody, in the very short time we were there, everybody started to relax and be like, just enjoy the experience.
Agreed, because especially in Peru, the hustle bustle of your life does not work there.
Yeah, it don't
at all.
It doesn't compute.
Not at all.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So,
Wait, yeah.
It gives you a completely different perspective. I mean, how long did it take us to eat every single meal?
It took
A long time.
It took
Breakfast was long.
There was no rush. Yeah.
There was no rush. It was about, connecting with people, telling stories, experiences, right? And by doing that, it overall helps with your body.
It does. And
your digestive system, because you're not rush. You actually chew your food. Right? That's the way it's supposed to be.
I agree. I actually, my daughter was saying that yesterday, and she's 12, and she was like, I can't believe it's 4:30 already, right? And the day went by so fast. And it definitely, it's like we fell back into that, back into that trap of looking at the clock often and worrying, we got to do this, we got to do that. Today's the first, the bills got to be paid. You know what I mean? Like, and so you find yourself, the time is going fast because you're always comparing what you have to do, like, with what time is it? I mean, even our daughter, we got to pick her up from school here pretty soon. So you're always continuously, what are you doing? You're looking at the clock. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? You know what I mean? And it's just, and that time is just eating away so fast because you're like just focused on it, and you didn't have any of that there. And that was a beautiful part of it.
And our days were filled. I mean, we were going from 5 a.m, right?
Yeah.
To like 10 at night.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was amazing.
Yeah. I'd say
right?
the only thing you got to be a little concerned with, I don't know if this was me. I know because we went with some older ladies, right, who were, and I say older than me, right? And they were probably late 50s, some of them, late 50s, and they kicked my ass on those trails and those mountains. Like I was breathing like, I couldn't breathe, man. Like I couldn't, my legs were burning. I had to stop. You know, I was in the back a few times because I really didn't get in shape like I should have for this retreat, because everybody was saying, like Amy had told me multiple times, like, you know, we got to get ready for this trip because
the elevation.
The elevation, it's Machu Picchu, right? They tell you, like it's interesting. The hotel we stayed at, if you guys watch the video, they don't even have a gym because they don't want people working out, right? And, you know, pushing it and thinking it's sweet, you know, when they get there. So I think to keep from having, you know, to call an ambulance very often, they just say we're not going to have a gym because people don't understand the difference in the elevation.
Well, because Americans are go, 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 right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, they think they can Iron Man. They think they can just get on a treadmill and run in.
Right. And we learned the elevation aspect of how serious it is, how it really does.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
It's not a joke.
I mean, it took us, we had to wait 5 days. We didn't climb Machu Picchu until the end of our trip.
Right.
Because we had to get acclimated.
And if we had done that at the beginning, we would have died.
Well, they don't allow that in a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, your tour guides, everything, it's very, right.
Yeah.
It's protocol.
Yeah.
It's protocol.
Yeah. You definitely got to adjust. It's different. It's definitely different. Like that, I think it's 11,000 feet, 12,000 feet, something like that. 13,000 feet. So there's a definite difference in your ability to breathe there and conditioning yourself to breathe properly. You will run out of gas. You will get lightheaded. You do have to change the way you talk. I had to change the way because you see, as you notice, sometimes I get a little long-winded when I talk, and I couldn't talk like this. And
it forced you to breathe and shut up.
It forced you to be quiet. You have to be like, okay, I'm gonna pause. You go. It's your turn.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
And where we stayed, right, our villa, we had to walk up our huge hill,
right,
to then get to the retreat center, right, which then was on a mountain, which then it was all stairs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just amazing. So we were constantly pushing ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. And we went in tip-top shape when we got back. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
I was going up. We got steps at the house. And I was like, these steps, bro, it's perspective. Everything is perspective, right? Before we left, we were like, man, these stairs are killing us, bro. And like, I'm tired. I get to the top of my stairs and I'm breathing heavy, right? And I just got like 2 flights, right? I go there, I come back. I'm like, give me more stairs, bro. These stairs are nothing, right? Because it was just, again, it's perspective. It's everything is perspective. And so we were in tip-top shape, you know, and I just had a great time. It was so great. I think my favorite experience there was the Sweat Lodge. I think the Sweat Lodge was a definite transition for me. And you know, you realize your body, no matter how maybe scared you are or intimidated you are or challenged you are, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve almost anything you want to achieve. So just going on that trip and just traveling for 24 hours and being in another part of the world and being in the mountains where you can barely breathe and you're walking up these steps and you're going into sweat lodges and you're challenging yourself every day, and you come out of that really a changed and different and stronger person. So I know that's what it was for me. So
yes,
yeah,
I loved all the ruins too that we went to. There's just so much that you need to be there more.
Yeah. That being said, guys, hey, the retreat window is open. We're coming up on the end of 2025, so we'll definitely be doing a retreat next year internationally. We plan on having multiple retreats here in the States, and you guys can join us. We will also be releasing a lot of Amy doesn't like to call them programs. I call them programs, but I guess sessions, right, would be better words, that you can do with us, which we call mini retreats. So if you want to do that and come hang out with us here in Round Rock, Texas, you'll be able to do that too. We will have everything that you need to know in terms of, where to stay, what we're doing, what it's about, all of those things. We're working on that right now. The plan is to release that probably Q1 of next year, Q1. So, January, February, March, we'll release that. And so if you guys want to come hang out with us and, rock with us on some non-international domestic retreats that don't last as long and aren't as expensive, then we're going to be having that for you. And we're going to be educating you on a lot of health and wellness things around that a lot of people really don't understand. Yeah. Health and to me, spiritual is,
yes,
it's health and wellness. Yeah. It's all encompassing. Yep. Yeah. It's all encompassing. It's an ecosystem of wellness, right? And I tell Amy all the time, a lot of people just get caught up on one aspect of it. The healing house is really, multi-layered modalities and,
frequency healing.
Frequency.
All about frequency.
It is. Vibes. So this is our first episode.
And you can come and hang out at our frequency healing house.
You can.
Right?
Yeah.
And experience our modalities.
Yeah. And we got a couch over there too that we're going to have over there too that you guys can sit on and you can be part of our podcast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so we plan on having that where we want to share other people's experiences also, right?
It's about building the community and the tribe.
It is.
Yes.
And you don't even have to be here to share. We can add you via Zoom right on here, just like this, right? If you want to be a part of the conversation. So frequency healing discussions will be launched here pretty soon. Where we talk about, deeper issues. This one was just kind of to get you guys acclimated to who we are, learn a little bit more about, what we do. We really didn't know what we were going to talk about on this one. We still really don't know how to introduce ourselves.
Just go with it.
Yeah.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah. It's like, how do you
Nothing is scripted.
Well, I always say, how do you introduce yourselves to people you don't know yet? It's kind of difficult. Like going, hey, my name is William, and who are you? You really don't know people yet. So it's kind of difficult doing that. So it's a bit of a challenge. But I think we did a good job on this one. What do you think?
We're just ourselves. So, yes.
Yeah. So
natural flow.
It is.
Right?
It is. So welcome to Frequency Healing House, guys. If you guys have any questions in regards to, health and wellness things we'll be talking about, we really focus on, again, the entire ecosystem of health and wellness. That's mental, that's physical, right? That's emotional, that's spiritual. That's the whole gambit. And so we tackle all of that, and we'll be discussing all of that, and we'll be, engaging with you guys and all of that. Amy's going to be doing, hey, I need you guys to do me a favor. So Amy she has a healing, therapeutic healing session that she's going to start doing live on the internet at some point. And so I want you guys to send out some energy to us, because she's not really a big technology internet guru by any means. So it's a new space for her.
A simple woman.
It's a new space for her. She's a old school, so she likes face to face, right? She's a in your face kind of person. She likes relationships.
I think it's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Actually.
And so I'm trying to bring her over to this technological game, right? Where she spreads that energy through media, just like this, right? Which can be done. And so we're working on that. So she's going to be doing that live here pretty soon. So if you guys want to join, right, her in that experience, we'd really appreciate you guys participating in that too. What you got to say about that, eh?
Also at Frequency Healing House, what we do is, it's about the community and the tribe, and helping people to realize where they belong in their part in this whole dynamic.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And what they can give to the community and the collective. Like, what's their part?
Right. Yeah.
Where's your place in the world?
Yep. Exactly.
We all have an imprint. So what is yours?
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, that's what a lot of people are searching, and there's really no timeline on when you really realize what that is, or, you know, when that's delivered to you.
When you feel the
different
call,
for different
just
people.
follow it.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
it's
then
different.
and then people just show up, and we show up, and you show up for us, and then it's a wonderful universal dance.
Yeah. You know, I often say the path to the path to where we're trying to get to, the destination, right, is it can be different for everybody, right? There's no one path or one direction to the destination. Although the destination, right, we're all trying to get to a similar destination, right? The path can be different for everyone. And so, you know, one thing we want to do here is assist everybody who wants, you know, that assistance in finding what that, you know, that path, that purpose is all about. So
Your own journey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And rediscovering yourself on
Yep.
a different level.
Yeah. All right. So that being said, we will be rolling out, like I said, more things for you guys to participate in, right? Things that we will be offering as services, and
follow us.
Yeah.
On all the social media platforms.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Subscribe to our website.
Yeah, that'll keep you guys engaged in what we'll be rolling out, you know, in terms of what you can participate in. And, you know, whether it's free, whether it's not free, charged, you know, whatever it is, whether it's going to be an event, you know, a paid event or a non-paid event, right? You guys will know. We'll be doing both, right? So sometimes what we'll do is, you know, it's open and free to everyone to participate. And some things we do is going to be, you know, paid, just, you know, for the simple fact that, you know, we got to pay the bills. But with that being said, stay tuned and stay in tune by, you know, helping us out and following us. And, you know, on the different platforms. We're on TikTok, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, you know, we're on all the big boys. And we will be doing, like I said, lives here pretty soon, where you guys can, you know, join in, participate, you know, and get whatever you need from Frequency Healing House. So that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. I've enjoyed it. We'll be back. We'll probably do about 2 or 3 of these a week, right? Just to start. So, you know, go ahead, subscribe here on YouTube. So, you know, you can be notified of when we post and what we got going on. Amy, got anything else you want to add?
No. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Really.
Can't wait to meet you in person one day.
I know.
Right.
You know, our retreats and that'd be
in
cool.
the U.S. or somewhere else in the world.
Right. Exactly. Yep. All right, guys. William Agnew, Amy Snyder, signing off. See you guys in the next one. Peace.
Get us every day.